Hi guys, welcome back to the Guild Chat. It is episode 13 again. We had technical difficulties on our previous episode 13, and then we almost lost this one due to a player being grounded. But yeah, let's not go into that.
Difficulties.
Snitch.
So we've got a couple of things to talk about. The first one we were going to talk about is the recent Kenobi requirements. So about a week ago, they dropped the second set of requirements. And they were surprisingly not bad. I don't know if you guys have really had a look at those yet. What does everyone think?
Oh, I've forgotten what they are, to be honest.
Lots of separatists.
It's General Grievous, Clone Sergeant, Magna Guard, and who else? Qui-Gon Jinn. I can't remember who the other one was.
What Tambor?
Oh yeah, that was it. What? Which was quite a big deal, really. Relic 7 What is quite a big deal. So yeah, we're definitely pushing everyone to sort their gears out sooner rather than later because we need What Tambor anyway, just to do like heroic rankle raid. But,
challenge. Yeah,
challenge rankle raid.
Challenge pit.
But I kind of feel that these are reasonable requirements actually. But I'm also kind of feeling that the actual new Kenobi character might be actually very available.
Yeah, it depends on who else to bring in out, I guess.
Apart from the Relic 8 stuff.
It's only one, though.
Yeah. Relicate General Kenobi still.
It's fine, I've got Relicate General Kenobi.
But you're going to say that because you have it.
I don't know. It just feels like the set of requirements that they've put out is almost like they've gone, any mid-tier player might actually have this stuff. Whereas, obviously,
as long as they're in a good guild.
You do need to be in a guild that's letting you get what, and you also need to have an account that's, be in a guild that's let you get the Relic 8 materials. But I don't think that's. I don't feel that the requirements that they've put on this character so far are as harsh as the other Galactic Legends. I mean, there is still another, 5 characters left? But, doing like Jedi Master Luke, he's pretty horrific. And there's a lot of bad characters on that. Whereas on this, I'm kind of like, Qui-Gon Jinn's really easy to get to Tier 12. And him and Mace are probably the worst too. Mace isn't even that hard to get to Tier 12. You know what I mean? It's like, as bad characters go, they're actually pretty easy gears. Not like Rolo and Captain Han, who are just horrific.
Yeah, it's basically a bunch of stuff that people should already have, and a couple that aren't so. There's a higher majority of things that you'd want to have on your account than not.
Yeah, it definitely
which
feels,
I think is good.
Yeah, it feels it's easier. It's within an easier reach in the realm of characters that you want to spend your resources on.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys considered going for the new Kenobi based on what you've seen?
Can't say I have.
Not particularly, no.
Yeah, I'd suggest waiting for the next Galactic Legend to see who you'd rather spend your resources on.
I mean,
I'm waiting for the Dark Side one.
I know Andy did.
Well, I know
Mace.
you would anyway, but
Andy, you did Mace.
Yeah, I did Mace.
Is that it?
I kind of disagree. Well, I agree with what you say in some regards. I don't think he's anything on Luke. But I think the Relic 8 and the Wat Tambor, I think it has made a bit of a divide. Like, between the other Galactic Legends, you can get really without being like in a guild that's doing the crank, or obviously then you. Okay, so Relic 8, you're immediately going to have 4 million GP, because otherwise there's just no way that you're going to ever really get Relic 8 mats.
Well,
like before that, difficult. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's easy to get it when you're below that threshold, but have kind of limited General Kenobi to anyone 4 million and over, and anybody within a like Davvo said, a guild that can do it all. So I find it a little bit. I still find it a little bit strange. Whereas they've come out and said that he's already going to be on a power level par with all the other Galactic Legends. So gate it a little bit more. I'm not saying it's completely gated, but it does seem a little bit more end game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
if that comes across.
I mean, I kind of looked at it and thought that it was kind of like if you're at a medium level, like moving into a higher level in the game, that it was almost like a freebie so far. I mean, other than Bo-Katan, who's pretty much an awful character, you're probably going to have all the others at some point.
But I don't think Krakens and whales need a bone thrown to them, if I'm honest.
No, but I don't necessarily feel that they are doing that. I think that you could look at this from the perspective where you say, well, everybody's got Galactic Legends. We need to make one that's easier accessible.
I'm surprised they've done what, because obviously you can't spend money to get him.
Yeah, but Jedi Master Luke...
They gonna they're going to put him in a shop at some point.
But Jedi Master Luke has Rolo, Hoda, and Wampa.
Yeah, but you can't. With Rolo, you can't make the argument for, because anybody who's not beginning game is going to cream Rolo, because Hoth's just easy.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? You know how long it took me to get to the point where our guild was actually getting enough shards for it to matter? Because when I joined the guild, I think we were getting like 2 shards of Rolo if we were lucky. Yeah, I had to force people to farm this character to get a locker.
But what I'm saying is, if you're not getting Rolo shards that easy, you shouldn't even be looking at getting Galactic Legend.
No, it's a fair point, but it's still, you're still limited on that character. You can't wail on it.
You can't compare Rolo to Relic 7 Wat Tambor. You just can't.
All right, okay. Well, what I will say though is Rolo is more gear than Wat Tambor.
Yeah, but Gear's not gated.
Really difficult gear.
Rolo's horrible.
But Gear's not gated. So it's a horrible grind, but it's not gated. It's not like you have to be X good player to get gear.
But then you still need Wampa and Hoda, and obviously they're limited to the get tokens.
Yeah.
It's like I feel that those 3 characters are easily the equal of Wat Tambor, because even if you've got like a low GP, if you pick up a Gear 12 Geo squad, you could probably get into a guild that's getting several Wat shards anyway.
I mean, the sticker for me is still the Gear 8 General Kenobi. For me, I don't. Okay, sorry. I don't see why they've done. It does grind my gears a little bit because they haven't done it for the others. I know that their Relic 8 wasn't around for a lot of them. But Relic 7 was achievable for everybody as long as you just finded it.
I do agree with that. That I don't think they should be putting Relic 8 on. It's so difficult to get. And even if you can get it, when you look at the resources, you need like 20 Zimbiddle things for Relic 8.
Yeah,
it's like it costs a fortune.
It's bad enough just getting 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've said he's going to be on a par with all the other Galactic Legends, so it's kind of like, even before knowing the kit, you're anything but a really super endgame player who's getting these materials, then you wouldn't even look at Kenobi, really, which is sad, really. I think part of the appeal of the game is that you want to be able to chase something rather than it being gated. And if it's something that you want, you can go out and do it. I mean, take Uni's Jawas, for example. You know what I mean? Like I know Jawas aren't gated. But if it's something that you want to do, you can go and do it. If it takes you 6 months of grinding. I think it's a shame, personally. I just think it's a real shame that they've done that. And it doesn't seem like it's on a par. Maybe it is on a par in terms of requirements overall.
Well, they might have,
but they've still kind of got the red velvet ropes around Kenobi a little bit, and I just don't see the appeal of that, really. I mean, the only thing that I can see them doing is when they release the 4th requirements and you can start farming for. He's actually released. They might release the Relegate packs back again in the store that are like 50 quid each.
No doubt.
That's probably. I mean, if they're running it like a business, which they do, that's what I would do because they know that loads of people are just going to go, "Oh, screw it! I'll sink 100 quid into it."
The thing I've seen
I'll just take them out to Relegate.
is that like some players that are in guilds that can reliably beat the new Rancor, you've got players sitting there with like 100 materials that you need for making a Relegate character because they're not relegating characters.
Why are they not doing that?
No, I mean, like I saw one of Ian's videos and he was just showing his character off and he had like 127 Relegate material mats or something stupid like that. And I'm like, well, even he's not bothered about spending them. Do you know what I mean? It feels like if your guild can beat the Rancor event, you're going to have the materials. You're not going to be short on them because I think it's so expensive to just spend them.
I don't know. Don't just the top 5 contributors get them?
No, everybody gets them, but only the top 5 actually get a reasonable amount of them.
Oh, okay.
So it might take you like 10 Rancors to get enough to do one if you don't score high enough or something.
Okay.
That's a bad system.
It is. I don't like the raid system at all. I think the system should not be that you all are competing against each other. I think the system should be that you each individually play the event and everybody that completes it adds to a tally and then everybody gets the same resources based on the number of completions. I think that would be a much better system.
Yeah, the whole competitive thing doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But at least if you do it my way as well, you can add the option for individual players to sim it. So if you don't want to play the Rancor, you can sim your attempt. But if someone else wants to play it, they can play it.
Just help with the challenges that are like,
yeah,
put 5 stamps into the pit,
yeah,
but you can't get that because you've been simming it.
yeah, exactly. It's just it would just be a much better system because it doesn't invalidate existing content and it takes away into guild competitiveness from an area where it shouldn't be competitive.
But what do you mean by like each player's completion? Because
well, you know, like
it's very hard to solo most raids.
Well, no, but your raids wouldn't be designed for
fair enough.
requiring 50 players. They would be designed that it's like, this raid is going to be beat by a player with an average GP of whatever, and you just do it that way.
I don't know. I don't think that would work, to be honest.
Well, it wouldn't be much different than say the shard missions.
In like the most or the best led guilds, I guess, the most active ones, then yeah, you get maximum rewards, but most guilds will not be getting all 50 people completing it, so then people would start leaving guilds, searching for other ways of getting the things that they need.
I'm just offering an alternative to a system I don't feel is very good, but there we go. So
basically, it would be hard to fix the raid system at this point.
No, that's why I think you have to change the whole system. Okay, so anyway, we're going off on tangents as we usually do. So back onto Kenobi. I believe the next set of requirements is meant to drop around the 9th or the 19th or something like that. From what I remember, this is not gospel truth or anything. What is going to be in it? Have you guys had any ideas?
I think
we've all been wrong so far.
Whatever's going to be in it will decide what the next Galactic Legend is.
Yeah, there's a 50% chance of more being a requirement.
If he's not, he's the next legend.
Yep.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Batch?
Well,
Would batch be required?
I doubt it.
I don't think Maul, if Maul isn't a requirement, I don't think that points to Galactic Legend Maul at all.
Well,
Because he's a requirement for Sith Eternal Emperor, and I think they try and avoid crosses like the plague.
well, they were doing
Palpatine's
one
in
crossover, weren't
Sith
they?
Eternal and Kylo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but
And
I'm just
Jedi
saying
training Rey.
don't think
Vader.
I don't think they'll stack that many.
Maul has to be a requirement for Kenobi, and the only reason he wouldn't be is if he was an opposing galactic legend.
I think that's
Like-
And I think it would be relic
Ky-
7
Kylo
you'd have to
Ren-
get more, or 8.
Yeah, Kylo Ren and Rey's stories are incredibly intertwined. So if one of them wasn't a galactic legend in their own, then they'd be a requirement for the other one.
Yeah, I think the same's true with Jedi Knight Anakin. You kind of expect him to be a Kenobi requirement.
Hmm.
I mean, I did hear a few people saying it could be gas instead, but then I'm like, would they really do that? But then, they might.
That's why I think Fallen Anakin will be the other one, because they don't include the others. They don't include the opposite ones in the requirements.
But then you could have
Yeah,
gas as a
so-
requirement for Fallen Anakin.
Yeah,
So
he will be a
basically-
requirement. He will be a requirement for Fallen Anakin.
He could be for
But-
both.
The next set of Galactic Legends requirement will either include Anakin or Maul, and that will decide what the next Galactic Legend will be.
Unless they just don't do like a counter, they just do a completely random one.
Both
But there's
Katan
no,
was a bit random.
there's no Kylo Rens in Rey's requirements. There's no Rey
Exactly.
in Kylo's requirements, and vice
Yeah,
versa.
that's why we're saying it'll
So ba-
decide it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm saying if Maul is a requirement for Kenobi, then the Galactic Legend will be Anakin, and if Anakin's a requirement for Kenobi, the next Galactic Legend will be Maul.
Won't be more. It doesn't make financial sense for it to be more.
Surely it does. He's a very popular
I think
character.
But I
it
want
does.
it to be
He's
Maul.
he's a popular character within Star Wars fans, but it's the same with anything. Like, don't appeal to the hardcore fans because the hardcore fans spend money anyway.
To be fair,
Always have to try and get casual fans and casual spenders.
they should do Maul and Anakin both as the Galactic Legend choices, because they're actually short on dark side characters in comparison to light side characters overall, just because there's more good guys than bad guys.
Well, no, it'll be if Maul isn't required for Anakin. No, not Anakin. If Maul isn't his own Galactic Legend, they'll release Clone Wars Maul as a different character.
Yeah, can't wait for that. There will
'Cause he
be
was
a
on the
new
loading
Maul in
screen.
the game. There has to be.
I mean, they could potentially do. There's definitely an easy they could do another Maul. You could say that they could do a third, but I kind of feel that the Rebels one is too similar.
Also, Spider Legs Maul.
Spider Maul, Spider Maul.
Yeah.
He
And Clone
appears
Wars
for
Maul
a
should have
single
some
episode.
requirements. You should have some special synergy with Savage.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
every other damn duo.
I saw a little meme actually about Savage where somebody had put the new tag that they did, the unaligned Force user tag, and they were like, "This guy's an unaligned Force user. Why is he a Sith now?"
That is true.
Yeah. Because even like Clone Wars Maul wouldn't be Sith. Only Phantom Menace Maul was a Sith apprentice. After he died, quotation marks,
Right,
he stopped being a Sith.
That's why I think that if they did a Fallen Anakin, he wouldn't be Sith.
Well, he can't be Sith. There's already a Sith Galactic Legend.
He can,
But
because
Fallen
Kenobi's going to
Anakin
be Jedi.
is a Sith because he is Palpatine's apprentice. He is canonically a Sith. He won't get
Yeah.
a tag, but he is canonically one.
Watch
Yeah.
them bring out 3 and it'll be Maul and Anakin, and Maul will be an unaligned Force user Galactic Legend.
That would be hilarious. There's like
yeah,
there's like less than 10 members of the unaligned Force users tag.
club.
How exactly are they going to make a team out of that?
I don't think it's a tag that gets a team. I think it's a tag they've just invented so that they don't have characters that don't have tags. because the only other character that doesn't
Yeah.
have a tag now is Wampa.
Poor Wampa.
Which, to be
And-
fair, you can't exactly put a tag on that.
Because
It's just
Yeah.
boss. Isn't that right, Andy?
maybe Ugnaught. I'm not sure on him.
Imagine remembering that Ugnaught is in the game.
Well, he's on my favourites list
Oh, dear
What
God.
for?
because when you've got him at, I think it's gear level 5, a couple of the pieces of gear he builds are really good for scrapping for relic materials.
Oh, you've been watching too much Arnold, haven't you?
No, I was scrapping a lot of gear. I had young Han Solo on my favourites list up until about 2 days ago, because again, he was the only character I had that wanted this one specific piece of gear that I needed to request, so that I could throw it away.
Fair enough.
Okay.
He's gone now, don't worry. Okay, so is there anybody you are hoping is not on Kenobi's requirement?
I don't care. I ain't going for him.
Is there anyone
Cody's gonna be one.
you hope?
Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the one going for Kenobi, should you be answering this?
Yeah.
Farm Boy Luke. I hope he is not on there.
Oh, that would be
Isn't Ben
hilarious.
needed yet?
No, they haven't listed Old Ben. Old Ben is one of the ones that I think they would list because he's also on Jedi Master Luke's requirement. So that's the one I thought would be the crossover, him or Anakin, or maybe even both. But it kind of feels kind of like we said, where you go, half of these characters everybody's already got. So it's like, if you put Old Ben on there, what can you do other than say, please make him Relic 7? Because you've already got him at like Relic 5 for Luke.
Well, that's what Maul will be. You'll have to Relic 7 him.
I don't think you'd have to Relic
To
7
be
Maul.
honest, I think like Revenge of the Sith Jedi Master Kenobi will end at Revenge of the Sith, so it's not going to go much further. You're not going to have Rebels or Empire in
No.
the requirements,
But because-
except maybe Vader.
But because we don't have Baby Luke, the only one we've got is Farm Boy.
That's exactly why it won't be Maul, because it is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but
Kenobi.
Bo-Katan is there.
Yeah, but they go up to Revenge of the Sith, but they won't go past it. So like Maul is everywhere in Obi-Wan's story
Yeah, so we could.
because Filoni put him there, but that's beside the point.
I mean,
Filoni.
it is like you said though that it depends on if they're doing Anakin or Maul as their other one, whether they've thought ahead.
Yeah.
Because you could think Revenge of the Sith. Well, it's like, well, Anakin turns up and murders like Newt Gunray and all of his mates. So it's like you could quite easily see that being a requirement for him because he just, he offed them all. His requirements could literally be everybody he killed in that film.
Yeah. But like if
But
it was
which
purely
Anakin?
Revenge of
The fallen Anakin.
Right.
If it was purely Revenge of the Sith for requirements, then Qui-Gon Jinn wouldn't be in there.
Yeah,
So it's going to be up to, not past, but
you're probably right.
Well, all I'm saying is the last 4 Galactic Legends have been opposing Antags and Protags. So
Well, I'm still thinking that it might be Anakin though, because like they got Kenobi
Anakin.
and they put the Negotiator in, and I'm like, well,
it's
you
100%
can
going to be
you can
Anakin.
put the Malevolence in for Anakin because didn't he destroy it?
He did, yes.
Yeah, so they could quite easily do that and claim, yes, this is a reasonable requirement, and therefore we've now got both get to capital ships as requirements. So I kind of get the feeling that they'll do Maul and Anakin, but not necessarily together. I mean, there's lots of other characters I quite like as well, but anyway, I'm hoping it's not too bad. Cody is a little bad to gear, so I'm kind of like, I mean, he's only in it for one scene, and they did all put Clone Sergeant in already.
I mean, that's just so eventually you get, like, Master Kenobi's going to be needed for that light side Geo mission, and then you'll need the Kenobi, Cody, and Sergeant for that.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's that special mission, isn't there, that's got the 3 of them.
Yeah.
That, from what I've seen, though, that mission is next to impossible. Right,
which is why General Kenobi will be added as a requirement, and he'll get put in that mission as well.
Oh, what? So you'll have 2 Kenobis? He's that good?
I mean, or
Do you
they'll
mean
just swap
Jedi
out.
Master?
Yes, that. Yeah, same thing. But yeah, they'll make him a requirement on that, because then you'll actually be able to beat it.
Well, I know people
And
have
you'll already
beaten
get
it,
the
but
requirements.
it's crazy hard.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's kind of interesting. We'll have to wait and see. So moving on, we've got the new Grand Arena format that's just debuted with the lovely 3v3 game mode that we all enjoy so much.
Yay.
So yeah, it's like brilliant. Overall, what changes did you guys get? I mean, I got 1 extra defense and that's it.
I got
Extra fleet.
extra fleet.
Yeah. We just all got cut by fleet.
Fair enough.
I just stick my Sith Eternal in front of the fleet now, because if I don't do that, then I lose. It's as simple
He
as
is
that.
really
I've
good
done
in
the
3v3.
I've built up in fleet. I've put good fleet, like my negotiator down, because I know that they aren't going to have many good fleets.
But
So
you
it's
have
like the Sith Eternal.
negotiator. So
Yeah, true. But yeah.
So you've gone
It's kinda
full
good.
defense on your fleet then?
Not full. I've got Empire and Malevolence. It's just I'm hoping Negotiator and my other one that's got like semi-decent things in will be able to hold, and then Sith Eternal stops them from getting back to my shitty light side squads that are put behind him.
Yeah. The only problem I've found with like if you're playing against opponents that have got both get 2 capitals is you can't guarantee the one you put on defense is the right one. So you either have to put none on defense or both.
I mean, if I had both, I'd just stick Negotiator on defense.
Yeah, but then you get the problem where if your opponent holds his Malevolence, he'll just walk straight over your Negotiator. And then he only has to beat your other fleet with whatever crap he's got. So it's like, if you want your fleet to hold, you've got to put both down, because if he only saves
But then
one...
the same is true for you, because he'll have put his Negotiator down and you walk over it with your Malevolence.
Maybe. Maybe. He might save both for offense. But that would be my choice. That's what I do. I use them both on offense.
My guy only has 1.5 fleets, so...
Okay. Well, I mean, I kind of feel the changes that you guys have now been put into the fleet bracket earlier is actually beneficial, because we do need more fleet in the guild. There's a lot of things like when we look at the territory battles where we're like, oh, we only need like 10 million more points, but half the players can't even do the mission, so we easily get that next star if people just hardened up their fleets. So having something like this kind of force people to do it is actually a benefit.
My issue with that is the fact that I only have 1 dark side capital that's actually at 7 stars, because I can't get Chimera to 7, and Malevolence is only 5.
You need to sort your Chimera out, dude, because it's just some shitty rebels.
Farming rebels.
It's just some shitty rebels. They only have to be gear 8.
That requires farming up the actual rebels that I need.
This is...
There's 2 of the ships I don't have.
We're not having this conversation on cast. We'll be here ages. So, what about your regular squads? Have you guys had to put more of those down?
All right, I fell asleep. Don't have at me.
No. So
I used to be the highest scorer on waves.
Can't remember how many actual teams I used to have to put down.
Raid, how's my Grand Arena going?
I don't know, because I've signed up and left it.
Oh no, for us raid, it's still 10 teams needed. So we just literally got banged an extra fleet.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we've only just had round 1 attacks. So my opponent was great. He was like, here's Ray with L3 and Barris, and I was like, yay, this is going to be great. And then it all went wrong, and I failed it 3 times.
Nice.
I was like,
I got an auto deploy, and I had Jedi Knight Luke with Darth Revan and Malak, so that was an interesting
You know
one.
what was it, Luke Lead?
Yeah.
You know what? That sounds fucking horrific because he stuns you, slows all your guys down, and then the other guy's like, "Yeah, have mass fear."
Yeah, I managed to take it out, but I was just like, oh, okay, I've got to go in with something at least good with this. And then the worst team I actually he had in the back was Kenobi with bloody Rex, and I can't remember who the third was, but it was just a pain in the arse team to try and take down because Kenobi just kept putting foresight on everyone.
Yeah, he can be like that sometimes.
Also, the defense and health wouldn't have helped.
Yeah, because he gives clones like a boost, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh well. Overall, I'm kind of pleased with the changes to Grand Arena, but I'm not. I'm still annoyed that they're doing 3v3 every other month.
I think everyone
Yeah, it is annoying.
What else we got? Conquest. Have you guys been playing Conquest?
Yeah, I've been playing it. It's actually a hell of a lot harder this time round.
Yeah, those cooling systems definitely made a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you managed to hit the top box?
Not yet, but that's only because I was away for the weekend. Hoping I can get it now that I'm back and got some time to smash it out.
Yeah, I've managed to get the top one again, playing hard. I think you guys are all playing normal, aren't you?
Yeah, I ain't got the GP to do hard yet.
Yeah, it was rough. I'm telling you. I actually, some of the things I need to do on my squad roster is actually do like more dark side stuff because I've got so much light side that my dark side stuff can't really compete when you're like, here you go, play only Relic 6 squads with 40% more stats. I'm like, ugh. I just don't have enough dark side to keep like pushing enough missions. I have to keep waiting for the stamina to go back up.
I have found that the computers, they've definitely put the speed up a lot more.
Well, they've just put
even
a flat
issue with speed.
They've just put like a flat percentage increase on their stats, and it's just all their stats. So it's like 20% more speed. It's like, well, for a lot of characters, that's like an extra 20 points.
Yeah, I mean, I've got things beating my Darth Revan to go first. I'm like, what the freaking hell is the speed on this Dooku?
I used my troopers 7 times in a row, and they went first every single time.
It gets a lot worse in the hard mode. It gets a lot worse. Like last one, I was really unlucky with the discs, and I was really struggling to get discs that increased the speed of my characters. And then this time, it feels like they've slowed the enemy characters down a bit, but they've took away nearly all of the discs that increase your speed.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of the entrenched this time round.
What does that one do?
It's the one that puts your
like protection, isn't it?
Protection up from start.
Yeah, it's like a percentage protection up based on its grade. So like the white one's like plus 25%. It's okay. It's if you get the higher level ones, it's actually a bit reasonable, but it's one of those discs where it's like you need to have relic characters for that to really make a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not the worst one.
No, all the other discs I've had have been a big pile of poop, to be honest.
You know what? I was a little disappointed that they just changed the bosses and didn't restructure the missions, though, because some of those are just, you know, when you look at the feats that you need, or they use the old boss modifiers on these new bosses, and in some cases it's just pretty horrific. You know, where it's like you have to remove 700% turn meter from Rey, and it's like, oh, by the way, while anyone's inspired, you can't remove turn meter.
Yeah.
Or
it's like,
you need 40 crits against CLS, but by the way, everyone's guarded.
Yeah,
stuff
I mean,
like
they
that.
didn't really think about it, did they? They just
Oh,
obviously people complained about them being the same, but they've kept the same bloody mods.
yeah, I kind of feel that the randomness that they've got in there isn't good enough. It's detrimental randomness where you could just get unlucky. Like, I haven't seen a purple data disc in. I think I saw one purple disc when they did the second exhibition season, and I didn't get a purple disc last Conquest, and I didn't get one this time.
I've never had a purple disc.
Not even in the original, because there was quite a lot when I
No,
played.
full stop. I've never got any.
Yeah, but I've not even had them as a choice.
I've had one massively overpowered. After an ally has gained 10 buffs, they gain massively overpowered effect for 1 turn, which cannot be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And it takes up 4 slots. I am never going to use that.
The thing is, though, is like some of those discs are really, really good if you've got like a certain combination or you're using characters. Like, you might go, I'm not going to use that, but then Uni could use that with his troopers because they just buff themselves all day.
Well, yeah,
Massively
that's true.
overpowered. Massively
good with John
overpowered
Light
used
Revan
to
as well.
be utterly broken with cooling discs. And then they removed those. So
Oh well. I'm not disappointed that cooling systems has gone, but it was quite fun to play.
I mean, I wouldn't have said it was fun. It was just used one move over and over again with the same character.
Well, I think the actual problem with the system.
it was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say I don't think the problem was specifically the cooling systems disc. I think the problem was that the way they set the disc system up, where it's completely random what you get, and you're allowed to stack the same disc. I think that's the kind of issue, where you go, oh, I've got
And the
2
amount
cooling.
they gave you.
Yeah, it's like, here's 2 cooling discs, and here's 3 discs that give you 2 buffs each. It's like, well, yeah, no, not going to have any cooldowns, but if they'd have basically said, here is a selection of discs, equip the ones you want, and that was it, you wouldn't have that problem because they'd have just given you 1. But yeah, we'll see what happens going forward. Did anybody buy any cat shards?
No, they're well expensive.
Oh, they're probably not worth it.
I haven't reached that point. Didn't play it.
It's dog water anyway.
Yeah, I've just spent all mine on gear, all my ticket things.
I did have it in the shop. I did have it in one of the bloody Jowl shop things. I'm sure it was like 585 things for like 5 shards or something.
Yeah,
Like,
it's I think they've done it because they've gone, if you can get the hard box, you can get this character in 3 conquests, but you've got to spend every single ticket you get on Ahsoka in order to get her in 3 conquests, because otherwise you'll just be short. And if you do that, you can't afford to spend tickets swapping discs, so it's even harder for you because it's that tight, the amount of points you need.
Right.
Because it only costs like 5 or 10 points to remove a disc, but you can't afford to do it if you're buying the cat shards. I'm kind of like, I saw that and I was immediately like, I'm not buying those. I'm just going to keep buying gear, and I'll get her in 4 conquests rather than 3 because I doubt it's going to make that big a difference.
Well, yeah, you'd like to think so.
Part of me though is still a little disappointed that they didn't release her as a marquee, like even because you can't even try the character.
No, you're gonna get his character and go, oh, okay, she's a big pile of poo.
Not right what she was. They did say that they released her with the wrong gear requirements, and now I'm kind of thinking, hang on a minute, I haven't gone back to see what they were or see what anybody said about it. I am just going to pull up website and see if it's on here. Commander Ahsoka Tano gear. Okay, what? Okay, I'm not sure if this website's right. I'm on the SWGOH.gg, but her gear requirements look freaking weird on here. So she just wants like multiples of the same thing. This has got to be wrong. Yeah, this is got like the weirdest character gear requirement ever. She wants like loads of the Mark IV Carbonti sensors. And loads of like the Mark 7 biotech prototypes. She just wants all the really weird stuff and absolutely tons of it. And I'm like, is that right? I don't know. Maybe this hasn't been updated. Oh well, okay, forget that. That's probably not a good thing to look at. Okay, any other topics you guys want to talk about before we close up?
Nah, I'm good.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, we'll leave it there then. Thank you all 5 of our listeners for listening again, and we hope you'll join us for the next episode.
Toodaloo.
Bye bye, y'all.